Hi everybody, it's the Papa's Kitchen with Papa and Nana, and we're here on another Wednesday. We really do enjoy and love coming to you on Wednesdays and cooking and sharing our home a little bit with you and sharing what we like to eat. I'm doing something really good for you tonight.
Oh, really? Okay.
I am making a meatloaf, but I got a hankering while we were in Spain for that flavor, that Mediterranean flavor, you know, and all that. And so I'm doing a different meatloaf than I've ever done for you. We're going to get the meat all prepared and everything, green peppers, green bell peppers, and I even have some leftover red. I'm just going to put in some onion, some parsley, some Dijon mustard, some salt and pepper, some oregano, a minced clove of garlic, breadcrumbs, some eggs. A couple of eggs are going to go into the meat, about a pound and a quarter of that meat. And then what I'm going to do, Sue, it's different than what I've ever done. I'm going to lay it out in about a 8 by 12 rectangle, and we're going to put on there, here's the Mediterranean part.
Oh yeah.
We're going to stuff it with some prosciutto. I've got about 6 slices of that here, and about a cup of mozzarella cheese. And then what I do, you'll see me do this.
Grated cheese?
Yeah, grated cheese. I'm going to roll it up, okay, and then put it in the bowl. We cook it for about an hour, and it's done. And so it's a Mediterranean meatloaf. And with that, I'm actually going to do some mashed potatoes for you, because I know you like mashed potatoes. I wanted to show everybody some mashed potato stuff before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Honestly, look, if you don't do mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving, someone's going to say something around your table like, where's the potato?
Yes.
And so you need to get that done. And so it'd be a good one to get out of the way. And we'll do those two and have dinner tonight. Does that sound good?
Yes, I'm hungry. I'm going to watch you cook.
All right. Well, here we go. So anyhow, like I said, I've got the green pepper. You do need to, on this recipe, make sure that your green peppers are diced up pretty small. I'm having such a hard time getting that together. But I've been having a hard time getting my act together lately anyhow. I don't know what my deal is. Anyhow, I want to get these green peppers diced pretty small. So
I always have a way to fix you.
How's that?
That's what wives do, right? They always want to fix their husband. Yeah.
So how do you fix me?
Well, I always tell you, you got to exercise more. You got to drink more water. You got to
all that.
And all that helps you sleep better.
Yeah.
And you're cooking great meals, so I don't know, babe.
I don't know either, to be honest with you.
We all have to figure ourselves out, I guess.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed that food over in Spain.
Barcelona.
Oh my gosh.
That was amazing.
You know, I still think about it. This is where I'm at. I still think about everything we ate. I had a dream the other night about just that plain coca bread with just rubbed tomatoes on top with a little salt and pepper. It was so good. I've just not eaten anything like that in a long time. So, I mean, just little things like that. And it's just because it's new. It's because it's unusual.
I think it's because it was a lot of fresh things.
You know, that's the other thing.
Everything that you saw there was fresh.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Everything. And everything is, you feel like it's less processed than what we do here.
Yeah.
And so there was none of this processed kind of food. I was reading an article the other day of how processed our food is, and I have a cousin down in Texas, and she's always talking about it, and she's slowly winning me over to getting done with and being done with processed food. And I'll tell you what, I'm becoming a convert very, very quickly. You think about that, which I haven't done for years. You know, you got your McDonald's or even Five Guys and all that, and we haven't had any of that stuff for quite a while. I guess coming back from Spain, I just want my food to be really tasting like what that was. And they're simple. You know, we had a few complicated meals, of course. That braised lamb that one night that I had, I don't know if you had, I think I gave you a bite of it. Oh, that was cooked all day and all this sort of stuff and certain juices. And I spoke to the chef about that one. But typically that's not what you and I are doing. By the way, I'm needing here just a regular white onion and a good sized one, and get that finely chopped.
We bought all this stuff at the
at Rosetta's, yeah, the other day. Yeah. So get rid of that. I need a cup of this. We're just going to get this all put together and mixed in here. Okay, along with, and by the way, this meatloaf is a little bit more entailed, but I think the flavors are going to come out fantastic and you're going to love it. So, you know, try a little something different. Onion, green pepper, a little bit of red because I had it left over. 1 clove of garlic minced we want to put in there. And then, that's it. And then 2 eggs. See if I can do this without dropping any shell down in there. And I'm also adding, and this is where it gets a little different than what you're used to, half a teaspoon of oregano. I'm adding some salt and pepper in as well. A little bit more. And what I'm going to do, folks, this is where it gets a little bit different. I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of this Dijon mustard. You want a prepared mustard of some sort, and preferably like a Dijon. The last ingredient is going to be a 10-ounce can, 10.5-ounce can of tomato soup. I've got some good old Campbell's tomato soup here. We're going to put that in. And then, in order to mix all of this together, we're going to take up to, and I'll say it that way, it shouldn't take much more, but basically all you're wanting is enough breadcrumbs that as you mix this here in just a second, you want everything to firm up and make into a loaf. So don't add them all at once, just maybe put in half and then start mixing. And I'm going to actually mix this with my hands covered because I just don't want all the onion smell on my hands.
I think you already have onion smell.
I know, but I meant one thing. I sort of do, sort of don't, but now I would.
I can tell you how to get that off.
I heard
I tell you every time.
You've seen that. You rub on aluminum.
On stainless steel.
Stainless steel, rather. There you go.
You can do it right on your faucet.
So there it is.
You've seen those bars that people have. They look like
that's
a soap
right.
bar.
That's
It's
right.
nothing but stainless steel.
Yep.
I didn't believe it.
Yeah, but you did
Until I
you
tried it, and it works.
Hey, most of these hacks, people have done them and they've tried it and it works. Some things don't, but. And you never ever, Susan, take and find a hack, and if you'll send me $3, we'll give you the hack kind of thing, because it's usually a rip-off. They've hacked you.
You've been hacked.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to need more of the breadcrumbs.
Yep, definitely going to need more.
Probably all of it. That's the trickiest part of a meatloaf.
It is. It really is.
You want it moist enough,
but
firm enough.
Yep, absolutely. Let me tell you, my grandmothers, every one of them could make a good meatloaf. And my great-grandmother, that's when I say every one, I mean all 3 of them that I knew. The one that I do is, normally, is that long loaf on a sheet pan from Ina Garten, and I do like that one. You know what, I need a little bit more breadcrumb, babe. There we go, let's just do a little bit. We don't want to do too much, but let's just put a bit more. There we go. I'll tell you what, where I like meatloaf, and I don't know how the viewers are, but when I like meatloaf, it's the next day or two, cut and sliced cold on a sandwich. Yeah. To me, that is nirvana personified. You put a nice piece of bread or some sourdough bread or whatever, you put mayonnaise and mustard. I don't like ketchup that much, and I do a little bit of Tabasco. I'll sometimes even put obviously a piece of cheese on top or whatever. And I like my sandwich cold that way. All right, so there it is. Now look at what I did is I put my, and I'll tell you what else I need to do. I need to spray this aluminum foil, else I'll have a little problem. So let me spray it. And the other thing that I did is marked it so that I can see what is about an 8 by 12 inches and how I need to form this thing. So off this goes right in the center, and then we'll spread it out. We'll put the stuffing of this in. There, nice. This sort of down. Okay, my oven, by the way, is at 375. And I'm going to actually oil up my little dish here. I'm going to do one thing first, and I'll show it to you. I'm going to take my prosciutto and we're going to just put that down. And all I'm doing is putting that layer of prosciutto down. Oh my goodness, I can actually taste this already.
This is a company meatloaf.
It really is. It really is. Okay, and why don't we let me do this. I don't want to see. Everybody knows how to do this kind of thing, but I need a cup of this, and then I'll show you how we put this all together. Okay, now there's my 9x5, and I'm just going to lightly oil this. And all I want to do is just get that even up on the sides a little, some of that olive oil. This also has a little bit, about 1/4 cup of parsley, chopped parsley in it, which really gives it that, additionally, that Mediterranean taste. So look at, all I'm going to do, this cup of this is just going to go on top, just like this. You could have either put the parsley in with all the other ingredients. Probably should have done it that way, but I wanted to try this a little differently here. I'm going to put the parsley just on top like this. Oh man, oh man. I can almost taste this right now. It's going to bake for about an hour or until it's got 165 degrees on the internal. And all you do is you're just going to take this thing and pull it up and do this is the tricky part.
Obviously.
But hey,
use the foil.
Yeah.
Use the foil and pull it up as you go.
Yeah. Okay. Good idea.
Yes. There you go. And turn it.
Why you are here to help me. You're my helpmate.
Sometimes I confuse the issue.
Hallelujah.
Sometimes I help the issue.
Look at that. That just looks really different. And you want to put it seam side down. And all you're going to do, honestly, is just move it. Oh, that's going to be the problem. Here. But let's see if we can't do that.
Oh, you got to get underneath.
I will. Here, in fact, let's do one more little bit roll. And there it is. That's why we have this thing here.
Oh. There you go. You did it.
I did it. Look at that. Oh, babe.
Yeah, and it shrinks, so.
Yeah. So this is
there you go.
How this is going to be. And that's perfect. And I think we don't cover it or anything. Nope. Bake for 1 hour until it reaches an internal temperature of 165. So that's all we're going to do with that. Cool. Doesn't that look pretty cool? And with the red and green peppers in there, oh man, that's going to be good. I'm pretty pleased at how I was able to roll that. All right, we'll be back in about an hour, and we'll have our potatoes done too, and I'll show you this meal for tonight. All right, I put on my potatoes. I peeled them, cut them up, put them in water, added. I did about 3.5 pounds of russet potatoes, peeled, cut up, put it in water until it covers, and 2 tablespoons of salt. Now you can double this recipe. In my case tonight, actually, because it's only Susan and I'm having the recipe, but I'm giving to you the normal recipe in levels. So 3.5 pounds of russet potatoes, and then I cook them until they're soft, just like you guys know what to do. I mean, I don't need to tell you. And all I want to do is drain those out. Now, the interesting thing when they're done, a lot of people, you'll see them take a potato grinder, or they'll take a masher and mash them. But I do it the easy way. I stick it in my bowl with my mixer, and all I'm going to do is mix these with my paddle here for about 45 seconds or so. And what it does is it does a wonderful job of just beating them, making them creamy, but also they're still a little chunky inside. So that really is nice. And I do it on very low speed. And that just breaks them down. It's just great. Maybe about a minute, actually. I'm going to do the regular mashed potato standard, the base of what is a good mashed potato. But I do want you to know a few of the things you can really improvise on this kind of mashed potato recipe. And really, it comes out great no matter what you do. But you got to start with the basic or with the standard. And what I'm doing is I've got those down like I want them. I'm taking 1 cup of whole milk here, and I'm also taking not one stick, but 6 tablespoons of butter, and I've got them warm and in here, and I'm going to pour them in.
This is for the regular.
For the regular potato, yeah. And just let them incorporate with those mashed potatoes. And in addition, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of sour cream. And except for a little bit more salt and pepper, which you'll need 2 tablespoons of salt and about a 1/2 tablespoon of pepper, this is done. And these come out creamy. They're just super delicious. And I mean, you can't beat this. In fact, let me just add now the 1 tablespoon of salt.
2, you said.
I'm doing 1 because this is a 1/2 recipe.
Right, but the other measurements were for...
It's for the regular,
okay.
If you were to do the regular. And so 2 tablespoons of salt and 1/2 tablespoon of black fresh cracked pepper. And let me just mix that around. And I'm telling you, this is a good potato.
We've done these for years.
We've done this for years, yeah. And so this is how you do it. Now look at, if you want to do another few options on this, here's option number 1. To this, you would add 3 ounces, and you can find this at like Whole Foods or Fresh Market. Actually, you might even find it at like my Publix. Some white truffle butter. Just 3 ounces of white truffle butter in there. It gives it a phenomenal flavor if you enjoy that truffle butter flavor, that truffle flavor. Option number 2 is take a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese and put it in here.
Ooh, that would be
and mix it around. And that, grated Parmesan, or even just the ground Parmesan, and that gives it that spicy, creamy taste, and that is off the charts. But my favorite way, if I was going to modify this, is option number 3, and that is to take about a 1/2 cup of garlic cloves peeled, and
1/2 cup.
1/2 cup. I mean, I don't know how many garlic cloves that is, but 4 or 5 or so, like that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe 6, and put those in a saucepan along with a 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil, and let it build up on your stove for about 20 minutes until it's simmering and everything gets nice and soft and sort of incorporated of that olive oil into those garlic pieces, okay? And then take it off the stove after it's simmered for 20 minutes, good simmer, and let it cool down for about 20 minutes. Take your cloves out, and really you want about take all the cloves. It'll be that good. And they, by that time, as they've cooked, they're very soft and they're really great, and they'll mash right into the mixer. And add to that about 3 tablespoons of that olive oil that they soaked in on the stove, and that will, oh my goodness, you talk about off the charts good. That's off the charts good as far as...
well, and you could keep the olive oil to use on other things.
And you can always use it on other things. I even keep, actually, I buy here small jars over there of garlic-infused olive oil.
Oh.
But what you're doing, the reason you do it this way is because you want those garlics, those actual garlics, to go in there too. And you talk about good mashed garlic potatoes. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have this for dinner tonight as soon as my meatloaf is done. But let me just show you how beautiful and creamy those potatoes turned out.
Yep.
And they're just great. And oh, they're so good. And there's still a hint of a chunk of potato in there. And I just love that. I love that. There you go.
Oh, I get some too.
You get some too.
I thought mashed potatoes.
Really good. So there you go. Now with this meatloaf, if you were in Spain, you probably wouldn't get mashed potatoes. I did this because I want to get you ready for Thanksgiving. You would probably add to that meatloaf on the side some nice steamed vegetables or even a tossed salad of some sort. Oh, perfect meal for the evening. But we're going to have potatoes. We're going to indulge a little bit. So there you go. And I'll show you the meatloaf in just a second. Just thought I'd recap. That meatloaf, honestly, turned out really good. There would be two things that I would actually do different, I told Susan. I ended up putting it back in the oven for just 10 more minutes after I cut those 2 slices off, and we ate dinner actually with them. They were delicious. More about the delicious part in a second. What I would do differently is I would probably chop. I didn't chop the peppers, the red and the green peppers, tight enough, small enough. And I would do that. I would make them a little smaller. The other thing that I would do is I'd probably cook this in something a little larger. It's very unmanageable in this. It's very tight in here. And I probably would have gone with maybe a 9x13 just to have room on the end. I don't think it would have expanded out or anything like that. Otherwise, this turned out really good. The cheese in there and the prosciutto, it's so delicious. It's a totally different taste.
It really
but
is.
It turned out really good. We really enjoyed it. So what I'm going to do, I'm sort of anxious to do this. I've got to go up just for the day, got to clean the bottom of my brother's boat and stuff. I got some sourdough bread, nice soft sourdough bread. I'm going to take this cold up there and I'm going to make sandwiches. So I'm going to let this cool down a little bit longer, and then I'll take it, well actually I'll just wrap it here and put it in the fridge and then take this all up there tomorrow, and it'll be very good.
Also,
so try this.
We put a little too much salt in the potatoes.
Yeah, a little bit too much salt in the, and I was cutting the thing in half, and I probably should have dumped that down a little bit more.
Well, do them to taste.
Do it to taste, yeah, exactly. So, hey, you live and learn. Certainly no 2 meatloafs ever come out alike. And even mashed potatoes, it's such an easy deal, but it doesn't always come out the same way every time either. But that's what part of fun of cooking is. So enjoy. Try this recipe and enjoy yourself. Let me know if you do try it. Did you enjoy it? Did it taste good to you?
Yeah, it did.
Did it?
It
Good.
did. Thanks for having dinner with us.
Yes, thank you. See ya.